I saw it the other night when we were at the deal at the Chicken and Pickle. They were like GPA, and he's like, I saw him writing them all down.
Yeah,
right.
It's the first thing he went for.
Right.
So that's a good approach to take because that's what the colleges want to know.
Exactly. And to go back to your 5'11", 300-pound Texas kid, but if you're 5'11", 300 pounds, and you want to go to a major Big 12 school, and you have a 1.7, 2.0 GPA. It's not in the cards.
Yeah.
Right? And that's part of that honesty part, being honest with the kids. I tell the kids, with your height, weight, GPA, I think you're an NAIA or even a junior college type kid. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
You're a junior college kid, but as of right now, that's where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm honest with them. And go back to your Texas kid. They say, I want to play at University of Texas. And then we'll start asking, like, is that the only place you want to go? Is it Division I or nothing else?
Yeah.
And we've had kids in that same situation, 5'9", $125, 1.5 GPA, 13 ACT. I want to play Alabama.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not,
Yeah.
But I ask those kids, and I ask them, is that a do or die? Like, do you want Division I or nothing? Or do you want to go to college on a scholarship and graduate, wait for it, debt-free? Because that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. If you can get that athletic money, if you can get that academic money, graduate college debt-free, opposed to the guy, okay, you end up going to a Texas with $100,000 in debt because you went on a partial scholarship.
Yeah.
Or
they made you a preferred walk-on.
Right.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So that goes back into the aspect of we don't just take any kid, so to speak. Because we, like I said, try to be honest with them, make sure they're realistic in the aspect like, do you want to go Division I or do you want to go to college, get an education, graduate with little to no debt, right, and make a future for yourself? And then after that, after we sign the kids up, my biggest thing is, they call me I'm a grumpy old line coach for a reason. Please give me your film. Please give me the stuff I need to market you to colleges. Over all across the nation, we've developed a database, every college in the nation, where we can send 100, 200, 300 emails a day if we have to the college coaches. And, we expose you to those college coaches. And I can't tell you how many times college coaches will come back and say, thanks for sending this info, or please send me some more info about them, or let me know when they improve their GPA or ACT, because they're on that college coach's radar. Now, when college coaches, if they're making their way down here to Kansas City, they have something to look for. And I explain all this to the kids. It's like, I need that film. I need that action photo, to build your profile up and things of that nature.
Yep.
We try to model the program as if you're in a college course yourself. Obviously you're not going to be writing any 20, 25-page term papers or anything like that. But, contact those coaches when they reach out to me, or give me that film that I asked for. Take care of business in the classroom, right? Clean up your social media. That's another thing we're pretty big on. I've had athletes post pictures of them, smoking God knows what on their Instagram pages. And, I do what's called giving them a T-shirt. It's my way of visiting their house, or giving them a wristband. Say, hey, you want a new 7216 wristband? Let me come over to your house. And I don't go off on them, but I kind of talk to them about, like, make smart choices, because college coaches look at that. They have guys whose job it is to look at social media all day. So do you think if they see all that flooded on your timeline that they're going to want to sign you?
Yeah. No.
And that's that honesty,
not.
and that's that honesty piece. I just take it with them one step at a time, all the way till they graduate from their 4-year university. We're with kids. If they end up going JUCO, we help them out once they start to transfer out. But we are with them until they graduate from their 4-year university, and that's the program in a nutshell. Perfect plan, 4 years. I say we started this in 2017. That class, they are juniors right now in college. So, we got about a year and a half, and they'll be graduating, and that's when they'll be done with the program.
Yep, and all those guys are on pace to graduate. I saw on your website or your profile somewhere.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing for us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's one of the major things for us.
I mean, that's the piece the parent wants to hear too.
Yeah.
Is that you're gonna kind of be there along the way, helping those kids through it. I mean, as somebody who, has went through it yourself. You weren't highly recruited, you said, but I mean, still have been recruited.
Right.
Kind of know the lay of the land. Same with Brock. Your partner in this. But actually, Brock went to Central Methodist. For those of you guys that don't know, one of my kids is in the process of going to go there. He's going to start in the fall, so pretty good deal there. And it's just all about, you guys are the big piece to recruiting that I've learned is just like the big piece in coaching is relationships. Mm-hmm. Whereas, as high school coaches, we don't always have the time to build that relationship with all these colleges. Mm-hmm. We get emails from colleges all the time, hey, you guys got any kids, this and that. We don't always have time. But, you guys are kind of building that relationship with all these schools. Mm-hmm. And once, just like from a high school perspective, once you send a kid to a school and they do well there, they're going to say, hey, I need to come back and get more from this guy. So it's going to be the same, with 7216. Whereas, once you've got kids out there at these colleges and they've done well, those colleges know they can trust you.
Exactly.
They're going to come back and say, hey, you got another one of them kids for me?
And that's why we don't just take anybody. Anybody,
Mm-hmm.
if you have a debit card or a check doesn't mean we're just going to take it.
Yeah.
If you're like indifferent towards the program, we're sitting down. I've sat down with families, kids back in his chair, on his phone, not really paying attention. Mm-hmm. I've had to close the stuff up and say, like, you're not serious about this. And I'm not going to let your parents make that investment in you if you're not going to be serious about this. So, just like college is going to come back to 7216 because our goal and our mission is to send them quality kids year in and year out that are serious about their education and serious about playing at the next level.
Yeah. In recruiting, is a very serious business. It's getting bigger and bigger. You hear everybody talk on ESPN. They talk about the 4 and 5 star guys, your 3-star guys, and like you said, those are the guys that really are already getting the attention.
Exactly.
So you're focusing on those kids that maybe their high school coach isn't doing the job, getting them recruited. Like you said, you had a kid transfer and then he wasn't able to get to college because his high school coach wasn't helping him out. Right. So you guys kind of step in and bridge that gap.
Right.
And some high school coaches, it's not that they don't want to help; it's just they're intimidated by the process too.
It could be a daunting process.
They're trying to get all these kids out there.
Right.
It is. So exactly. You said you email coaches. Right. Do you also call coaches? What exactly do you do? How do you hype the kids up to these different programs? How do you evaluate at what level you can see them playing at and that type of thing?
I like to think that Brock and I do a pretty safe job of evaluating the kids. Going back, we're going to use this example, the 5'11", 300-pound kid. Yep. Say he's 5'11", my starting left guard, he might be 5'11", maybe even 6 foot, 260, 255-pound type kid. Mm-hmm. He's probably not a Division I kid.
Yep.
He's more of a NAIA, small NAIA, even junior college type kid. Mm-hmm. So Brock and I, we pride ourselves in being able to have a pretty good eye for evaluating where kids can go. But back to that word you used, hype. We, for lack of a better phrase, tend to be intentionally basic. And here's what I mean. A lot of these other companies, they'll try to give the coaches flash, right? Mm-hmm. When we contact the coaches or when we email them, we make sure that there's something in that subject line or something in that heading that makes them want to open that email and learn more about that kid. We are intentionally basic because a college coach only wants to know, the bare essentials.
Yep.
Height, weight, graduation year, GPA, ACT.
Yep.
Where can I find his film? Because they're going through hundreds of kids on a daily basis. And that flash, that hype, your film is your hype. Your first 3 clips on your highlight, that is your hype. Your 3.8 GPA, your 28-30 ACT, that is your hype. That's what gets college coaches excited about an athlete. Highlights are great. Everybody looks good on their highlights. How are they in the classroom? Mm-hmm. How are you when you're taking these tests? What improvements are you showing from when I first sent the film out to the second time you send the film out. How are your grades changing? So it's kind of a tandem partnership between us and the kids. The kids can provide the highlights and things of that nature, but our biggest push is the grades. That's what hypes up the kids. That's what gets college coaches excited. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, they look for the physical characteristics, but if you don't make the grades, you can't come to this university.
Yep.
And that's just the realistic side of things. That's the realistic side of the recruitment process.
Absolutely.
My kids will hear me ask, how are your grades come along, a lot more than how did the game go?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how our approach to making sure that the colleges see our kids. That's our approach to everything.
Yeah, I mean, I know when I was at Avila, those 2 years, kind of the first thing they taught me in recruiting was, before you do anything else, look at a kid's transcript.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you get into that film and you get excited about a kid, and then you see he's got a 1.8,
right?
And your school is not going to take a 1.8 and an 18 or a 17.
Mm-hmm.
The school's not going to accept it. Your hands are tied.
What can they do?
Yeah,
what can you do?
And every school has a little bit different of a standard, but right. I know, especially NAI level, it's kind of a sliding scale on academic money based on their GPA and ACT.
Mm-hmm.
So a kid obviously, and then if you're going to get more academic money, then they can kick in a little football money.
Exactly.
So they can say, well, I can save, this kid's going to get $5,000 academic. We give him another $5,000 for football. He's getting $10,000, to go to school.
Opposed to the kid that they have to spend $10,000 of athletic money, and then that money could be going towards two players instead of just the one player.
Yeah. Right.
So it's a split somewhere, and that's why grades is such a huge point.
Yeah, I mean, especially at the NAI level, because those guys don't have that booster just writing a check,
right?
For all that stuff, and so I mean, I know from firsthand experience, you're scrounging, you're trying to say, hey, I can get these guys that are about even players, and I can give each of them $5,000 versus giving this other kid over here, 13. That's maybe just a little bit better than them, but his academics are so bad, he's not getting that academic kick in. So it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's why I tell kids all the time. That's why I harp on the grades piece. I mean, we're educators. I'm a teacher, math teacher. So that's my biggest thing. What are your grades looking like? My athletes, when I see them in the hallway, you get that F up in your class, and don't lie to me because I can look up your grades, stuff like that, because it's that important. To the process.
You can't get on if you can't get your grades taken care of, you can't get on the field. You can't get on the field. Right. You can't earn any money.
Plus, it also shows colleges how hard you're willing to put in the work. Going back to that improvement piece, we reach out to a college about a kid. They got a 2.9, got a 15 on the first ACT. Come back 6 months later, that 2.9 has gone to a 3.3. That 15 has gone to a 18, 19. Mm-hmm. It shows that kid is working and that you're taking your process seriously.
Yeah.
It's not just work on the field. One thing I tell the kids all the time is, playing your sport is easy, because you enjoy it. You have fun with it.
Yeah.
But nobody likes sitting through. I teach geometry in Algebra 1. Nobody likes sitting through my geometry class.
No.
You didn't have to agree so quickly.
He was like, that's right. Yeah, they're like that.
Geometry was my least favorite math class. Man. So
it's one of my favorites.
Sorry about you, but
it's all right. But nobody wants to do through that. So that shows how badly you want it when you're willing to do the things that you don't want to do. Improve your grades, improve that ACT score, work towards improving yourself. That's the true thing.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a ton of recruiting services out there. We were talking a little bit before we started. So why 7216 over some of these other ones? What makes you different from some of these other ones? Like when I Googled it the other day, Next College Student Athlete and National Scouting Report were just two that popped up.
Yeah.
Obviously a little more national operation right now. First two options on Google, but so why in the Kansas City area or anywhere should somebody reach out to you guys versus just going with one of these?
Well, you already said it. the first words in those other two corporations were